Good morning, friends. You might have seen in the press about the conflict of war between the European countries, Armenia and Azerbaijan. Of course, both of them, for the past 2 or 3 days, they have been indulging in war or armed conflict, you can say. Right? Both of them are neighboring countries. When Russia was there, both of them were in Russia. Of course, due to the separation of Russia into 21 countries, now Azerbaijan has become another country. Both of them are bordering with each other. But let us understand the political scenario also for this. Later we will go to the legal aspect. Why the conflict between these two countries? Because of the 1.5 lakh population of a mountainous area, mountain territory by name Nagorno-Karabakh, which is in between these Armenia and Azerbaijan. Right? So during the year 1991, Azerbaijan declared independence. Right? So 1994, I believe, what happened is this particular Nagorno-Karabakh is dominated by Armenians. So it was given the actually self-reliance on these people, or declared Swatantra Patipati in Telugu we call it. So they are given because Armenians are more. Even though it is attached to Azerbaijan, since Armenians are more, so it's a self-reliant area, and therefore they can go to Armenia or Azerbaijan like that. But people, they say that they are Armenians but attached to Azerbaijan. Of course, the difference is continued. Of course, Russia is keeping equidistance between these two, because Russia is, of course, it is actually friend to Azerbaijan. At the same time, they have to maintain good relations with Armenia. Azerbaijan is very rich in, just since it's located by the side of Iran, very rich in oil and other things. So Russia is also dependent on the same. Why Azerbaijan is having war with Armenia is because these people, having been attached to Azerbaijan, they are showing their allegiance to Armenia. They say that Armenian people. Right? Azerbaijan is also having good links, Muslim links with Turkey also, because from Azerbaijan there are pipelines to Turkey, Syria and other places also. So Turkey is indirectly supporting Azerbaijan, and of course Russia is playing a neutral role. Whatever it is, the war is continuing because of that Nagorno-Karabakh. That is the main reason. Right? You may be knowing Madam Melania, she is also from Azerbaijan. Right? Now, let us come to our point of human rights. Now, international humanitarian law will come into existence at the time of war or armed conflict. This is otherwise called, is a part of international law. This is international humanitarian law. This is otherwise the concept of jus in bello. That means at the time of war, normally no country, no others will interfere with the domestic jurisdiction of any state. But in times of war, definitely to prevent the violation of the human rights, to prevent the genocide, to prevent the injuries to the victims, and to prevent the violation of human rights for the people who do not want war, who do not participate in the war, who are not at all interested in the war. So such people, they should be protected. The international humanitarian law comes and plays a major role in the protection of the human rights of the persons. Already 3 types of persons. Normally persons who are not interested in the war. Number 2, who are not who have not participated in the war, who have participated but injured in the war. All these 3 people, they should be protected. Already I told you, even though a prisoner of war, when you catch a prisoner of war, then he should be treated with dignity. He should not be treated cruelly, degrading, or inhuman treatment should not be there. And I want to tell you that the International Committee on Red Cross, so the Red Cross people can have access because it's already given the observer status. So they can have access, they can move to any place and they can rescue or they can give aid to the injured or wounded soldier, and they can shift the bodies to some other, like that they can help the injured persons. All these points are there. So mainly it is the intention is the international humanitarian law says they have to protect the persons who do not participate in the war. Right? Thus, the international humanitarian law or IHL regulate the conduct of forces engaged in war crimes or armed conflict. Right? So this is what is called the law of war. Right? So normally law of war and regular law. So law of war is, and you can know that it is based on the Convention of Geneva Convention, or it is otherwise called the Law of Geneva itself. It is called humanitarian law. Of course, the Law of Hague, it is called as the law proper. That means that is the regular law, international law. You know, the International Court of Justice is located there. So the Geneva Conventions, right from the 1864 to 1949, they focused on the protection of the civilians in the armed conflict. Right? So what are the basic rules of the IHL? Persons who are outside the combat, means who are not interested, who did not participate, then they shall be protected in all circumstances. Number 2, the wounded and sick shall be cared and protected by the ICRC, that is Red Cross. The captured persons must be protected against violence and reprisal. Reprisal, you may be knowing. Abhilash Harshvardhan, when he was caught by Pakistan people, actually so many medicines, so many injections were injected to know as to anything is there. They are subjected to so much of harassment. That is what is called reprisal. Oh, you belong to India, you fellow, the Indians are doing, that is what is called reprisal. Then no one shall be subjected to cruel, inhibiting and degrading, already told you. Then please remember, parties to the conflict, Azerbaijan and Armenia, they do not have an unlimited choice of methods and means of warfare, right? So then these, of course, they have given certain guidelines also. So they should not prohibit the doctors. They should not prohibit the doctors to come, that is Red Cross doctors. Second, they should not stop the ambulances showing the ICRC or white flag, their indication white flag, swastika mark, right? If at all anybody violates, then there are international human rights courts, there are international tribunals, definitely they will go and punish them also. Right? This is briefly regarding international humanitarian law. Since the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan has come into existence, so you can write, if at all anybody asks about the international humanitarian law, you can mention the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan also. Right? Thank you.